Hey guys, it's Jaggle here, and today I want to take a minute to share with you guys the method I used for leveling crafters and gatherers from 1 to 80. Using these methods, I was able to get every single Disciple of Hand and Land job to 80 within about a week. So without wasting any time, let's jump right in. There's a couple things that we're going to need to have done first to use these methods. Number one is going to be completion of the Heavensward expansion and access to Kugane and the Crystarium areas. Basically, we need to be progressed into the Shadowbringer story far enough that we can go to the Crystarium, which makes sense since we're trying to get jobs to level 80 or in-game level. So for starters, we're going to take our gatherers and head to starting leveling areas, as in Lanosia, the Shroud, Thanalan, and we're gonna just mine nodes until we hit level 10. This should be pretty quick and easy. Just grind your way up to level 10 because that's where we're going to start the bulk of our level grinding. Once you reach level 10, we're gonna go ahead and teleport to the Foundation in Kurthus. This is going to allow us to access the Firmament. If you do not have access to the Firmament, worry not, because right next to the Aetheryte will be an unlock quest that will allow you to travel into it. If you do have the Firmament unlocked already, go ahead and just interact with the Aetheryte and choose travel to the Firmament. This is going to be where we get a large chunk of level grinding done, and where the Ishgardian restoration stuff is happening, although that's a topic for another day. We're going to want to just veer off to the left whenever we enter the Firmament and go talk to Orvale over at the little green covered awning there. He is going to be who allows us to travel into the Diadem. Just keep in mind that the Diadem is instanced, so if you're using any FC buffs or manuals to increase your experience yield, make sure to apply those before you go in. So, upon entering the Diadem, we're gonna just head straight into mining nodes or gathering nodes if you're an herbalist or whatever you're doing. The thing that's gonna be important here is we want to gather the highest level mats that we can for the gear and level that we are. So basically, just gather as far up as you can on the tier list because that's going to increase the amount of experience you gain per node. Another thing that you can do is if you're having trouble gathering anything, you can always back out and upgrade your gear, buy some cheap gear from a vendor. I bought all my gear from vendors up to Kugane all the way to level 80, just the cheapest stuff I could find that was decent, and it allowed me to get through this relatively easily. This is going to be the most monotonous, probably boring part of your grind, I would say. It takes a little while, but I would definitely recommend staying in Diadem until you hit level 60. If it's too slow and boring for you, you can leave at level 50 and start leaves, but you will burn more allowances and potentially be time gated on these, so I definitely recommend staying till 60. So by now you should have noticed on the top left hand corner of my screen we have a meter that says compressed ether on it. So what's happening is as we gather from nodes in the Diadem, this meter is going to fill. Every time we fill one chunk of that bar, I can click the action icon on my screen and shoot a ball of compressed ether at an enemy. What this is going to do is eliminate the enemy, and it is going to generate crafting mats, and it is a big shooty boom boom, and it's cool. It looks like this. Okay, so that pretty much sums up all the basics you need to know about the Diadem. Again, keep in mind, instanced, so anything that applies to you in instances will apply when you're in the Diadem. Once you get your gatherer to level 60, go ahead and hit return. Since it's instanced, it will take you back to the beginning of the area. And from there, we can go ahead and exit out of the duty. Upon leaving the Diadem, we'll need to talk to the Resource Inspector to get our mats approved, otherwise they are essentially useless at that point. Also, this will generate Skybuilder scripts, which you can use to buy cool things like materia, glamours, mounts, other things of that nature. But let's go ahead and show you the location of where all the leave quests we're going to be doing are located. So 50 to 60 are located in Foundation as well. You can see them marked on the map with the kind of card-looking icon with the exclamation point as in other quest markers. But let's go ahead and show you where Ishgard is. Okay, and 60 to 70 leaves are going to be located, as you guessed, in Kugane, right next to the Aetheryte. We'll just turn around and head right down the stairs here to the right, and there will be your leave meet for Kugane, levels 60 to 70. And last but certainly not least, we have 70 to 80 area, the Crystarium. Again, right off the Aetheryte, we're going to go to this staircase on the right-hand side here. Once we come up the top, we're going to go ahead and make a left. And again, this will put us right where we need to be to get our level 70 to 80 leaves acquired. Cool, so now that we're here, I would like to take a second to talk about leaves and leave allowances. So you're going to be able to pick up 3 at one time from a vendor at a certain level. You want to make sure you grab all 3 of the highest level ones you can. These are all going to be really close together in the same areas. So from an efficiency standpoint, it just makes sense to grab as many at once as you can. So we'll go ahead and grab those guys up, and then we are going to take a look at our allowances. So if you haven't done leaves in a while, odds are you have a large amount stored. 100 is the cap of what you can hold, and you get one 3 times a day, I believe. I could be wrong about that. If you're curious about that, you can press Control-U or /timers and look at the bottom of the list, and you will see when your next leave allowance is coming. That way you can kind of keep an eye on if you're going to be time gated or not while leveling these gatherers. So just make sure that you have plenty of leaves. I did miner and botanist on less than 100. I believe I had 33 left over when I was done doing this method, and I got them both done in a day. So it's really, really easy to do. We'll go ahead and head to the area where these leaves are going to take place here in Lakeland, and we'll get started. So once you head to the destination where your leaves are going to take place, they will be marked on the map with a green circle, and you will have to actually go to your quest journal to initiate these. They will not just be mineable upon approach. So go ahead and initiate the leave, and we'll get that going. Go ahead and turn the difficulty slider up. What that's going to do is allow us to get a bigger gil and experience bonus on completion. Another thing to note that is in the top right corner of the screen, you will see your objectives for this leave. You may have a certain amount of materials you need to mine from only so many nodes. For instance, on this one we get 8 and need 32. Lower level ones, you should have no issue gathering all the required mats, but for some of the higher level ones, you may have to use some GP skills such as King's Yield or Bountiful Harvest, something along those lines to increase your production. But keep that in mind. Also, over gathering is okay. On some of these leaves, that will actually grant you a larger experience bonus, so it's definitely useful to do. Okay, and once we have our leave complete, we are going to go ahead and teleport back to the Crystarium and turn these leaves in. We have to return to the leave meet to turn the quest in. Wherever you pick them up from is where you will have to go to return them. And you're about to see just the massive experience bonus that you get from completing these guys. I mean, it's big. Now, granted, this is a level 78 leave, so this is almost capped, but at that point, still a massive amount of experience to obtain at that level, and this is just a great method for leveling these guys. Again, the only reason I suggested going through Diadem from 1 to 60 is because it's going to give you tons of leave allowances left over to just go and knock them out from 60 to 80 very easy. I would not recommend doing fishing this way because the fishing boat is just way too easy to get experience on, and maybe tomorrow I will try to get a video done on fishing boat so you can kind of see how that works and get that done, and then after that we'll start on crafters. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're interested in seeing those other videos, go ahead and subscribe to the channel and get notifications whenever I post those. If there's any questions that I didn't address, feel free to ask them in the comments, and I will do my best to get back to them as quickly as I can. Thank you so much, and have a great day.